Welcome to this detailed book summary of Atmamun by Kapil Gupta. In this video, we will take an in-depth journey through the key concepts and lessons from the book. Atmamun is a profound exploration of inner peace, self-realization, and the freedom from societal conditioning. The word Atmamun translates to self in silence, or inner peace, and the book dives deeply into the process of finding this peace. Kapil Gupta is known for his straightforward and often blunt approach to life's most important questions. In Atmamun, he dismantles many of the popular ideas about success, happiness, and the meaning of life. The book emphasizes that most people are trapped in a cycle of societal expectations and desires that distract them from their true purpose. The author argues that most of the suffering people experience comes from their attachment to illusions about success, happiness, and identity. Atmamun encourages readers to break free from these illusions and find peace in simply being. At the heart of this book is the idea that happiness is not something that can be found in the outside world. Instead, it is something that already exists within each of us. Through self-realization and detachment from societal conditioning, individuals can experience true inner peace. Kapil Gupta challenges many of the traditional beliefs we hold about success and happiness, urging readers to look deeper within themselves. Without further ado, let's begin our exploration of Atmamun. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Life. Most people live their lives in a kind of trance, chasing after external goals that they believe will bring them happiness. Whether it's career success, financial security, relationships, or status, society teaches us that these things are the keys to a fulfilling life. The truth is that happiness cannot be found in external things. It is a state of mind, a condition of inner peace that is already present within us. The problem is that most people don't realize this. Instead, they spend their entire lives chasing after things that ultimately bring only temporary satisfaction. Why do we believe that material success or personal achievement will make us happy? Why do we think that happiness is something we have to work for or earn? Gupta suggests that these beliefs are the result of societal conditioning and that they are fundamentally flawed. People believe that if they can just achieve a certain goal, whether it's buying a house, getting a promotion, or finding the perfect relationship, then they will be happy. But as soon as they achieve one goal, a new desire takes its place, and the cycle continues. This constant chase for happiness leads to frustration and disappointment. Even when people achieve their goals, the happiness they feel is often short-lived. This is because they are looking for happiness in the wrong place. True happiness, Gupta argues, comes from within. It is a state of mind that does not depend on external circumstances. Just like a mirage in the desert appears to be real, but disappears when you get close, the things we think will make us happy often lose their appeal once we achieve them. The illusion of life keeps us trapped in a never-ending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. The key to breaking free from this illusion is to recognize that happiness is not something to be found outside of yourself. It is something that is already within you. By turning your attention inward and letting go of external desires, you can experience true peace. We need to begin questioning these assumptions and to recognize that the search for happiness in external things is ultimately futile. Individuals can discover the peace that already resides within them, hidden behind layers of conditioning and desires imposed by society. Chapter 2. The Trap of Desire. Chapter 2 delves deeper into one of the core themes of Atmamun, the trap of desire. We live in a world that constantly tells us to want more money, more success, more relationships, more recognition. But the truth is, desire is a never-ending cycle. As soon as one desire is fulfilled, another one arises to take its place. Desire is like a fire. It can never be fully satisfied, and it keeps growing as long as we keep feeding it. We are often under the illusion that fulfilling our desires will bring us lasting happiness, but this is rarely the case. Instead, desires create a constant state of wanting, which leads to dissatisfaction. The more we want, the less content we feel, because we are always focused on what we don't have rather than what we do. We desire things because we believe we are incomplete without them. This belief in our own incompleteness is what drives us to chase after things in the external world. But as Gupta explains, the feeling of incompleteness is an illusion. We are already whole and complete as we are, and no external thing can make us more complete. Are these desires truly their own, or are they the result of societal conditioning? He explains that much of what we desire is not because we inherently want it, but because we've been taught to want it. For example, society teaches us to desire wealth and success because these are seen as markers of worth and value. However, these desires often lead us further away from true peace and contentment. When we stop chasing after things, we create space for peace to arise naturally. Letting go of desire doesn't mean giving up on life or becoming apathetic. Rather, it means freeing ourselves from the constant need for more. It means being content with what we have and understanding that true happiness comes from within, not from external achievements. Start by identifying their most persistent desires and questioning whether they are truly necessary for happiness, a practice of mindfulness and self-awareness, where individuals observe their desires without getting caught up in them. This practice helps to weaken the hold that desires have on the mind. Freedom from desire is one of the most important steps on the path to self-realization. As long as we are trapped in the cycle of desire, we will always be chasing after something, never fully satisfied. By letting go of desire, we can experience a state of inner calm and contentment that is not dependent on external circumstances. Chapter 3: The Conditioning of the Mind. In Chapter 3, author explores the concept of conditioning and how it shapes our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. He explains that from the moment we are born, we are conditioned by the world around us. Our parents, teachers, culture, religion, and society all play a role in shaping how we see the world and ourselves. This conditioning is so powerful that most people are unaware of it. It becomes the lens through which they view reality. The conditioned mind is filled with preconceived notions about how life should be, what success looks like, and what is necessary for happiness. These beliefs are often handed down from previous generations and are reinforced by societal norms. However, they may not reflect the truth of who we are or what we truly need to be happy. The problem with conditioning is that it limits our ability to see clearly. We are not seeing life as it is, we are seeing life through the filter of our conditioning. This leads to misunderstandings, false beliefs, and suffering. For example, someone who is conditioned to believe that success is measured by wealth and status may spend their entire life chasing these things, only to feel empty and unfulfilled once they achieve them. Many people live their entire lives without ever questioning the beliefs they hold, simply because they have been so deeply ingrained. True freedom comes from breaking free from this conditioning and discovering one's own truth. Becoming aware of how the mind has been conditioned is the first step in breaking free. By observing our thoughts and beliefs, we can begin to see where they come from and whether they are truly aligned with our authentic selves. This process of self-inquiry is crucial for anyone who seeks to live a life of truth and inner peace. It's about taking back control from the conditioning we have inherited and learning to think for ourselves. If we want to experience true freedom and peace, we must be willing to question everything and let go of the beliefs that are holding us back. Chapter 4: Seeking Truth in a World of Lies. In Chapter 4, the idea of truth and how difficult it is to find in a world filled with lies and illusions. Most people are not truly interested in seeking truth. They are more comfortable living within the confines of the stories they've been told by society. The truth can be unsettling, and many people prefer the comfort of familiar lies over the discomfort of confronting reality. Most of what we believe about life, whether it's about success, happiness, relationships, or even ourselves, is not based on truth, but on societal constructs that have been passed down through generations. These constructs serve the purpose of maintaining order and control, but they do not necessarily reflect the deeper truths about human existence. For example, society teaches us that happiness comes from external achievements, such as getting a good job, owning a home, or starting a family. But Gupta challenges this idea, arguing that true happiness comes from within, and that external achievements, while they may bring temporary pleasure, do not provide lasting fulfillment. It requires a willingness to question everything you've been taught, and to look beyond surface appearances. The path to truth is not an easy one, and it is not for everyone. Most people, he says, would rather live in ignorance because it is more comfortable. However, for those who truly desire inner peace and freedom, the pursuit of truth is essential. Truth is not something that can be found through intellectual reasoning or logical analysis. It is something that must be experienced directly. This is why the path to truth is often described as a spiritual journey. It is not about gathering more information or knowledge, but about letting go of illusions and coming into direct contact with reality. Seeking truth can often feel like a lonely journey, as it requires breaking away from the beliefs and values of the majority. Those who pursue truth may be misunderstood or even rejected by society, but this is a necessary part of the process. The pursuit of truth is a deeply personal journey that each individual must undertake for themselves. While it may be difficult to confront at first, truth has the power to set us free from the illusions and lies that keep us trapped in cycles of suffering. By seeking truth, we can break free from societal conditioning and find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Chapter 5: The Nature of Fear and Anxiety. Chapter 5 focuses on one of the most pervasive emotions in the human experience: fear. Fear and anxiety are the result of attachment, specifically, attachment to outcomes, people, possessions, and ideas. The root of most human suffering is the fear of losing something or the fear of not achieving something. Fear is a natural part of being human, but most people let it control their lives. Whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or the fear of the unknown, fear keeps people stuck in their comfort zones, preventing them from pursuing their true desires or realizing their potential. The mind constantly seeks to control the future, the outcome of situations, and other people. However, the reality is that we have very little control over most aspects of life. This lack of control creates a sense of anxiety, as the mind fears what it cannot predict or manage. The more we try to control things that are beyond our reach, such as how others behave, what the future holds, or even our own success, the more fearful and anxious we become. This is because control is an illusion, and the pursuit of it often leads to disappointment. The nature of fear. Author breaks down fear into its simplest components, explaining that fear often stems from attachment to specific outcomes. For example, if you're attached to the idea of being successful, you might fear failure because it threatens that attachment. If you're deeply attached to a relationship, you might fear losing that person, which in turn creates anxiety. The mind constantly anticipates negative outcomes, worrying about potential loss or failure. But these fears are often exaggerated. Fear is usually not based on reality, but on the mind's projections of what could happen. It's a future-oriented emotion, and because the future is uncertain, fear tends to create a false sense of danger. Letting go of fear. The solution to overcoming fear is simple in theory, but challenging in practice. Let go of attachment to outcomes. When you stop needing things to go a certain way, fear loses its power over you. This doesn't mean you stop caring about your life or your goals, but rather that you become detached from the result. By accepting whatever outcome comes your way, whether it's success or failure, you free yourself from the grip of fear. We need to ask themselves, what am I truly afraid of? When you dig deep into the source of your fears, you often realize that they are not as rational or powerful as they seem. Most fears are based on hypothetical situations that may never come to pass. Recognizing this allows you to move beyond fear and live with a sense of freedom and ease. Embracing uncertainty. One of the most important lessons from this chapter is that uncertainty is a natural part of life. Rather than trying to eliminate uncertainty, author urges to embrace it. He explains that life is inherently unpredictable, and trying to control every aspect of it is futile. The more we learn to accept uncertainty, the less power fear has over us. By embracing the unknown and letting go of the need for control, we can live more fully in the present moment. Fear is always future-oriented. It's based on what might happen, not what is happening right now. When you shift your focus away from the future and into the present, fear diminishes. To experience true freedom, we must let go of the fears that hold you back. This requires a willingness to face your fears head-on, rather than avoiding or suppressing them. Only by confronting your fears can you begin to dissolve them. Chapter 6: The Illusion of Success and Achievement. In Chapter 6, author addresses one of society's most deeply ingrained beliefs, that success and achievement are the keys to happiness. From a young age, people are taught that if they work hard, achieve their goals, and gain recognition, they will be happy and fulfilled. However, success is an illusion, a fleeting state that often leads to dissatisfaction rather than lasting happiness. The problem with external success. Success in terms of external accomplishments, things like wealth, status, fame, or career achievements. These are seen as markers of a good life, and people spend much of their time and energy chasing after them. But the problem with external success is that it's temporary and unstable. Once you achieve a certain level of success, the satisfaction you feel is short-lived, and soon a new desire or goal emerges. This constant striving for more leads to burnout and discontent. People often feel as though no matter how much they achieve, it's never enough. There's always something else to reach for, whether it's a higher salary, a bigger house, or more recognition from others. In this way, the pursuit of success becomes a trap, keeping people in a cycle of wanting more and never feeling fully satisfied. Success and inner fulfillment. True success is not about external accomplishments, but about inner fulfillment. External success is largely a social construct, built on the expectations of others and the need for validation. However, inner fulfillment comes from knowing yourself, living in alignment with your values, and finding peace within. Many people achieve great success by societal standards, wealth, recognition, yet still feel empty inside. This is because they are seeking validation and happiness from outside themselves, rather than looking inward. True fulfillment can only come from within. It is not dependent on external circumstances or achievements. Redefining success. One of the key messages in this chapter is the importance of redefining success. Instead of measuring success by what you achieve in the external world, focus on inner peace, wisdom, and personal growth. These are the things that lead to lasting fulfillment and contentment, rather than the temporary highs of external success. We need to ask ourselves, what does success truly mean to me? Many people never stop to question their definition of success, simply accepting what society has told them. But by examining your own values and desires, you can create a more authentic and fulfilling life that is not based on societal expectations. The freedom of letting go of success. Finally, there is a profound sense of freedom that comes from letting go of the need for success. When you no longer feel the pressure to achieve or prove yourself to others, you can live more authentically and peacefully. Success, he argues, is just another illusion that keeps people trapped in cycles of striving and dissatisfaction. Letting go of the pursuit of success does not mean giving up on life or becoming passive. It means shifting your focus away from external validation and toward your inner life. It means prioritizing peace, wisdom, and self-realization over material accomplishments. Chapter 7. Detachment and Letting Go. In Chapter 7, author discusses the concept of detachment, which is central to his philosophy of finding peace. Detachment is the practice of letting go of ideas, desires, possessions, relationships, and even one's own identity. Attachment is the root of most human suffering. When we are attached to something, we experience fear, anxiety, and dissatisfaction because we are afraid of losing it. The power of letting go. Letting go is not about giving up or withdrawing from life. It's about releasing the emotional attachment to things that create suffering. This can include letting go of the need for success, the desire for approval, or the fear of failure. It can also mean letting go of relationships or material possessions that no longer serve you. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster that comes with attachment. For example, if you are attached to a particular outcome, such as getting a promotion at work, you might feel anxious or stressed when things don't go your way. But if you let go of that attachment and accept whatever outcome comes, you can remain peaceful and centered regardless of the external circumstances. Letting go of identity. One of the most profound aspects of detachment, according to Gupta, is letting go of your ego and identity. People are often deeply attached to their sense of self, their name, title, achievements, and role in society, but these identities are ultimately superficial and temporary. Gupta encourages readers to see beyond their ego and realize that their true self is not tied to any external label or role. By letting go of the ego, you can experience a deeper sense of freedom and peace. You no longer feel the need to defend your identity or prove yourself to others. Instead, you can simply be, without the pressure of living up to an image or expectation. Detachment and relationships. Detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from relationships or not caring about others. Instead, it means releasing the need to control or possess others. Gupta explains that many relationships are built on attachment, which creates expectations and leads to disappointment. When we are attached to someone, we may try to control their behavior or expect them to fulfill certain roles for us. However, true love and compassion come from a place of non-attachment. By letting go of the need to control others, you can love them more freely and deeply. Detachment allows you to accept others as they are, without trying to change them or hold them to unrealistic expectations. The practice of detachment. One of the key practices is mindfulness, being aware of your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. When you notice yourself becoming attached to a particular outcome or idea, you can take a step back and observe it without judgment. Another practice is self-inquiry, asking yourself why you are attached to certain things and whether those attachments are truly serving you. By questioning your attachments, you can begin to see them for what they are, temporary and often unnecessary sources of suffering. Ultimately, detachment is about freedom. When you let go of your attachments, you free yourself from the constant need to control, achieve, or possess. This freedom allows you to live more fully in the present moment without being weighed down by the fears and desires of the mind. Chapter 8. Inner Freedom and Self-Realization. In Chapter 8, we delve deeper into the idea of inner freedom and the process of self-realization. True freedom is not about having control over your external circumstances, but about being free from the mental and emotional constraints that bind you. Inner freedom is the ability to live without being controlled by societal expectations, desires, or fears. What is self-realization? Self-realization is the recognition of one's true nature. Most people identify themselves with their mind, body, achievements, and possessions. However, Gupta argues that the true self lies beyond these external markers. Self-realization is the understanding that you are not your thoughts, your ego, or the labels society gives you. It is a profound recognition of your own essence, which is independent of the physical and mental identities you carry. Many people spend their lives looking for validation and meaning in external things, jobs, relationships, wealth, when the truth of who they are lies within. Self-realization brings an end to this search, as you discover that the peace and fulfillment you've been seeking have always been within you. How to achieve inner freedom? To achieve inner freedom, as discussed in previous chapters, societal conditioning teaches us to strive for success, validation, and control, often leading to dissatisfaction and anxiety. Inner freedom requires letting go of these conditioned beliefs and discovering what truly matters to you. A critical aspect of achieving inner freedom is learning to live in the present moment. Many people spend their lives worrying about the future or ruminating on the past, which robs them of the peace and joy that can only be found in the present. By embracing the present moment and letting go of attachment to future outcomes, individuals can experience a profound sense of inner peace. Another element of inner freedom is accepting yourself as you are. This means letting go of the need to meet external standards of success or validation. When you fully accept yourself, flaws and all, you become free from the need for approval or recognition from others. Self-realization in practice. 1. Self-inquiry. Ask yourself who you really are. Are you defined by your achievements, possessions, or relationships? Or is there something deeper that transcends all these external markers? Self-inquiry allows you to explore the depths of your own being and uncover the truth of who you are beyond societal roles and expectations. 2. Meditation and mindfulness. Practicing meditation and mindfulness can help you quiet the mind and create space for self-awareness. By observing your thoughts without getting caught up in them, you can begin to detach from the conditioned patterns that often dominate your thinking. 3. Acceptance of impermanence. Recognizing that all things, success, failure, relationships, possessions, are temporary allows you to let go of your attachment to them. When you accept that nothing lasts forever, you become less dependent on external circumstances for your happiness and more centered in your inner peace. 4. Living authentically. Inner freedom comes from living in alignment with your true self rather than conforming to the expectations of others. This means being honest with yourself about what you want and need, and not allowing societal pressures to dictate your decisions. The joy of self-realization. Self-realization leads to a profound sense of joy and contentment. When you are no longer chasing after external goals or seeking validation from others, you are free to simply be. This joy comes not from achieving something or acquiring something, but from the deep understanding that you are already whole and complete as you are. Self-realization is not about reaching some distant goal or becoming a better version of yourself. It is about realizing that you already possess everything you need to be happy and at peace. This realization brings a sense of lightness and freedom that can transform the way you live your life. Chapter 9. The Path of Wisdom and Awareness. True wisdom comes not from external knowledge or experience, but from awareness of the self. This chapter delves into the importance of cultivating awareness in order to live a life of inner peace and authenticity. What is wisdom? Wisdom as the understanding of life and the self. While knowledge is about facts, data, and external information, wisdom is about seeing life clearly and understanding how to navigate it with grace and peace. True wisdom comes from a place of deep inner awareness. It is not something that can be acquired through study or achievement. Wisdom allows individuals to move beyond the superficial concerns of daily life and see things from a broader perspective. It helps people understand what truly matters and what is simply a distraction. This deeper understanding enables people to make decisions that are aligned with their true purpose and inner peace. Cultivating awareness. Awareness is the ability to observe your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. It allows you to see the conditioned patterns of your mind and recognize the false beliefs that may be driving your behavior. Practice mindfulness as a way of cultivating awareness. By being fully present in each moment, you can observe your mind and emotions without getting caught up in them. This practice helps you develop a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you, leading to greater wisdom and inner peace. The role of silence in wisdom. One of the key practices for cultivating wisdom is silence. Silence allows the mind to quiet down, creating space for deeper insights and understanding to emerge. In a world filled with noise and distractions, silence can be a powerful tool for gaining clarity and wisdom. Take time each day to sit in silence and observe their thoughts. This practice helps individuals become more aware of the conditioned patterns that run their lives and allows them to see beyond the surface level of their thoughts. In silence, people can connect with their inner truth and gain the wisdom that comes from within. The path to inner peace wisdom is not just about understanding life intellectually, it is about living with a sense of inner peace and acceptance. True wisdom leads to a sense of calm, even in the face of life's challenges. When you understand that life is constantly changing and that external success is not the key to happiness, you can move through life with greater ease and contentment. The path of wisdom also involves compassion and understanding. As you become more aware of your own mind and the ways in which you are conditioned, you develop greater compassion for others. You realize that everyone is going through their own struggles and challenges, and this understanding allows you to be more patient and kind. Ultimately, wisdom leads to freedom. Freedom from the false beliefs and attachments that cause suffering. It allows you to live with a sense of inner peace, knowing that you are connected to a deeper truth that transcends the surface level of life. Chapter 10. The End of the Search. In the final chapter of Atmamun, Kapil Gupta brings the reader to the ultimate realization. The search for happiness, peace, or enlightenment must eventually come to an end. This chapter explains that the endless search for something outside ourselves, whether it's success, happiness, or spiritual enlightenment, keeps us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. The illusion of the search. Most people spend their entire lives searching for something, whether it's material success, personal happiness, or spiritual enlightenment. This search creates the illusion that there is something missing in our lives, something that we need to find in order to be complete. This search is itself an illusion. The peace and fulfillment we are seeking are already within us. We don't need to go on a journey to find them. They are present in each moment, waiting for us to recognize them. The importance of letting go. Let go of the search and simply be present. When you stop searching for happiness in the future, you can begin to experience it in the here and now. This shift in focus from seeking to being is the key to true peace. Letting go of the search doesn't mean giving up on life or becoming passive. It means recognizing that you are already whole and complete as you are. There is nothing you need to achieve or acquire in order to be at peace. The state of Atmamun. The state of Atmamun is a state of inner silence and peace. It is the realization that there is nothing to seek, nothing to achieve, and nothing to fix. In this state, you are fully present, free from the conditioning of the mind and the desires of the ego. Atmamun is the end of the search and the beginning of true freedom. It is something that arises naturally when you let go of the need to control, achieve, or become something. It is the state of simply being, of resting in your own essence. The joy of being. The final message of the book is one of joy. When you stop searching for happiness outside of yourself and begin to experience the peace within, life becomes a joyful expression of being. You are no longer weighed down by the burdens of expectation, anxiety, or fear of the future. Instead, you can engage with life fully, experiencing each moment as it comes, free from the incessant chatter of the mind. Embracing life without conditions. In the state of Atmamun, life is embraced without conditions. Gupta illustrates that this is a profound shift from how most people typically engage with life. Instead of viewing life through a lens of what is right or wrong, successful or unsuccessful, joyful or painful, you begin to see life as a continuous flow of experiences, each valuable in its own right. This perspective allows for a more relaxed, joyful existence, as you realize that every moment contributes to your growth and understanding. The role of acceptance. A significant part of reaching this state is acceptance. Acceptance does not mean resignation. Rather, it means acknowledging life as it is, without the need to change it. Gupta emphasizes that when you accept what is, your circumstances, your emotions, your thoughts, you free yourself from the struggle against reality. This acceptance is liberating and allows you to experience life fully, without the distractions of regret or anxiety. The shift from striving to allowing. When you let go of the need to strive for something external, you create space for your true self to emerge. This is where the joy of being resides. Rather than seeing yourself as a perpetual seeker, you start to recognize that you are already where you need to be, fully equipped to experience joy, love, and fulfillment. This shift also fosters a sense of trust in the process of life. You realize that you don't need to have everything figured out, nor do you need to control the outcomes. Life has its own rhythm, and by allowing yourself to be part of that flow, you experience a profound sense of peace. Living in Atmamun. Living in Atmamun means embracing spontaneity and authenticity. You act not from a place of obligation or fear, but from a space of genuine interest and passion. This authenticity resonates deeply, both within you and in your interactions with others. When you operate from this place, your relationships become more meaningful, your work feels fulfilling, and you engage with the world in a way that feels true to your essence. The journey within. In conclusion, Atmamun is not just a guide to self-discovery, it is an invitation to embark on a transformative journey within. Gupta challenges readers to reconsider everything they believe about success, happiness, and their identity. The path to inner freedom, self-realization, and true joy lies in the depths of your own being, waiting for you to uncover it. The journey within is a continuous exploration, one that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront your conditioning. It is about unlearning what society has taught you and discovering your own truth. As you navigate this journey, you may encounter fears and doubts, but Gupta reassures that these are part of the process. The end of the search marks the beginning of a new way of living, a life defined not by what you achieve or acquire, but by the peace, joy, and authenticity that you embody. In the state of Atmamun, you realize that you are not just living, but thriving in a way that honors your true self. Final thoughts. By letting go of external validation and embracing your inner truth, you can experience a life filled with joy, peace, and authenticity. This book serves as a powerful reminder that the journey to self-discovery is one of the most significant undertakings we can embark upon.